Could we go to Game 5?
By the way, guys, it's a real treat to be down here in Germany in beautiful Cologne. We love your cathedral. Is it called the Dome? Is that what it's called?
Man. Yeah.
The Dome, right? All right. My producer's yelling, of course, in my ear. I don't know, man.
Why, of course?
Yeah,
all
man.
right. It is starting, Tasteless. sLivko against MVP. Let's get into that game and introduce our players.
All right. In the upper right, we got our Terran player. We're now in the rubber match. The Game Genie Terran. Give it up for MVP. And in the bottom left, we have our Zerg player. Let's make some noise for sLivko. If you guys would please get on Twitter right now and hashtag IEM. We want to get this trending throughout the course of the week. It doesn't matter what you say, just pound sign and IEM. When we get stuff like this trending, it actually does help the tournament. It helps people, discover esports or discover IEM until Extreme Masters.
Indeed, it does. And so basically any tweets you make, go ahead and do that. Even if you're tweeting at your mom, that you're going over your friend's house, just be like, hashtag IEM. Because she probably doesn't know what hashtags are anyways.
She doesn't know. She probably doesn't have a Twitter account either.
Well, then why are you tweeting at her?
I don't know. You probably made her one because you're a nice kid.
Oh, yeah. I guess that would work, yeah.
All right, we got the barracks. This is very MVP-like, too. He puts the barracks out here. This is actually going to be just outside of the drone's vision, right? If he clicks into the main?
I believe so, yeah. He should not be able to see this. MVP is sending down the second SCV, so he's going to do a two-barracks
he's going to try to
push.
pressure this guy.
Wait a minute. Actually, no, he should. Yeah, no, you're right. It's just barely not going to see it.
Okay, watch this, guys.
Yeah.
And
no, he saw it. Oh, my God. That was a big misplaced
thanks
barracks.
for making us look dumb, MVP.
Well, it should have been out of the vision.
All right, well, element of surprise is gone now.
All right, so now that he knows that two barracks are coming, MVP probably will change his plan, put on some pressure, but not as aggressive as he could have been.
And, well, this is just really bad. The whole point of the setup with these buildings is that there's no way for this Zerg to prepare for it. And you can just lose your hatch, and then you don't get to go to a late game. So MVP probably very annoyed right now that this is the turn of events.
Yeah. Well, sLivko is getting his spawning pool. He's going to have to take this threat very seriously. Even though he scouted it, a lot of times Terrans will still go through with it. In fact, 2 more SCVs coming. MVP does want to do some damage here.
Oh, wow. Now, this is the weird thing about when you get to cast an MVP game is he always, whatever conventional knowledge the enemy have, he will bend those rules because he knows his opponent is still smart and will respond a certain way because this is very unpredictable to do this. Canceled there at the last second.
Yep, and of course, more minerals lost by sLivko killing it than for MVP to do that. And here we go. He's going to start pushing. 8 lings are on the way. Oh my God.
Okay, denied.
Oh, he was trying to pull a select right there, but now he's going to have to back up.
Well, he could still do it, actually.
He might. He might.
Here we go. Is he going to do it? 1, 2.
Oh, man.
2.
Doesn't quite get it. He still does have these 3 Marines, though. More Marines on the way with some good micro. He can pick off quite a bit, but that's a lot of Zerglings. And MVP in some trouble. This just completely did not work.
And, man, nice denial there by sLivko. I feel it's kind of funny. It was sort of luck of the draw. If he clicked just a little bit more of a different location up here, he might not have seen that. We could already have a GG right now. But
if you put up those 3 bunkers like that, nothing can get past. It's a strategy that Select used to use all the time. And it's super powerful if you can get it off. But if you don't, I mean, you've been making buildings, canceling, a lot of SCVs not mining, Marines not doing damage. And sLivko has completely stabilized. MVP is going to have to probably just go ahead and make 2 command centers. He's already started the first.
And dead on Artosis. Very nice. Next command center. My mouth is going to be ripped by the end of this tournament. I am talking so much. We are having next command center over here. And then, of course, when it's time, it's going to go to this expansion. Now, as far as drones go, let's take a look here. 20 drones to 18 SCVs. sLivko's in great shape.
Yeah, he's doing really well. He can drone up and just go into a normal game from here if he wants. MVP, on the other hand, does have the 2 geysers going up, the 2 command centers. He can't really do any scary attacks anytime soon. He could just continue to make Marines and push out with those again, but again, that's not too scary. That's something that all Zergs have seen a lot of times.
All right, the orbital now is on the way here. And this is a great way to follow up this rush because you have enough Marines that you're basically safe. Wait, actually, quick question. Do you think this is dangerous for him to be moving out?
With the Marines?
Oh, well, never mind. He's just clearing out the watchtower.
Yeah, and even if he walks out a little bit further, I mean, sLivko likely not going to have speed by now, and there's no way you're going to have enough slow Zerglings to kill that. To kill that many Marines, you know how many slow Zerglings you need coming head on?
A lot.
Oh, God, do you need a lot? You need like 200 of them.
Wow. That would mean you have to give up all your drones. That'd be a tough, tough strat to do there. Oh, actually, no, I guess you wouldn't have to them all because they come out in pairs, don't they? Never mind.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Moving
on. So we have the Marine production stopped here. And he's getting 2 factories.
Yeah, going to be some Blue Flame Hellions for sure. And that's very common. I mean, all these things, the Zerg player is pretty much going to think, okay, you know, the 2 barracks didn't work. Most likely he's going to go double command center into Blue Flame Hellion. And sLivko's already getting a Roach Warren, so this is already a very nice counter.
So the Marines were coming out over here. And I guess he is going to move all the way out of Artosis.
Yeah,
and they probably can deny this. I mean,
he might be able to.
These are slow Zerglings, so
yeah,
Marines are much stronger than them, you know, when they're not on creep.
This is a great move by MVP, but he is making a lot more Zerglings. Does kill the drone and force the cancel. Really well done by MVP. That is so annoying for sLivko. You really wanted that base up very soon here, but instead MVP has landed his 3rd command center over there, and he's going to take his 3rd first. So, wow, the small things that MVP does that really add up.
MVP is quite the thinker. I do really enjoy casting his games. He is such a smart player. 2 more gases coming in over here, and the double Evo chamber over here for sLivko. So sLivko still very intent on you know, going to the late game here.
Yeah, well, we'll be able to finally remake that hatchery a lot later than he really wanted, though. We do have that speed just about finishing up. Carapace on the way, as well as a Baneling Nest. Layer a little bit over halfway done. And MVP is switching up into some Siege Shanks to go with his Hellions. So he's going to be pretty safe against anything. But I don't think sLivko's really planning on all-inning or anything like that anyways.
No, I don't think he is. I think he's one of those really resilient Zergs that just bounces back over time, similar to Vortex.
Yeah. Well, a 3rd factory is actually on the way right now for MVP. So there's a possibility of him going mech. We don't really know quite yet because we have no engineering bays up to see any upgrades for that. We have no armories up to see any upgrades for the mech either.
All right. The hatchery now about to complete. And this is smart. He's just going to go ahead and back off. And now, when do you push right now if you're MVP?
All right, well, he's going double armory right now, so I would say not for a long time. He's going to go mech, and it's going to take a while for him to actually get an army that's good enough to walk around in the center of the map. I mean, he can do little small pushes, run around with Blue Flame Hellions, things like that. But to move out with a small number of siege tanks and whatever Marines he has, not really advisable.
Well, as time passes here, they're neck and neck right now in supply. sLivko is starting to catch up, get ahead a little bit. And I know I said catch up, but really you're supposed to be about 20 supply ahead of the Terran. And then eventually you're supposed to just max out right around there at like 140 or something like that. So, you know, sLivko does need to start getting ahead more and more and more here in order to be in a healthy position as a Zerg player.
Yeah. You know, right now he's making mostly just roaches, and he does have some good Zergling upgrades finishing up. So that's kind of good. You know, the roaches are going to be very useful, but I'd love to see him get drops to go with this, but actually he's just going to make a lot of Banelings. Baneling speed and roach speed almost done, but there are 3 siege tanks out there with siege mode and some building walls being made.
All right. He's gearing up here. Going to try to attack in 2 locations. I don't know that this is advisable. I really don't think this is advisable, but let's see what happens. I did not expect this to occur. Here he goes now.
And the Roaches, they want to take out some of these buildings so the Banelings can actually be useful here. Banelings crushing through some of these buildings, though, hitting some Marines, but the Siege Tanks can target down quite a bit. sLivko starting to do a lot of damage to MVP, taking out another Siege Tank, but there's a bunker and 2 more, so he's going to have to turn around.
Yeah, really ill-advised attack there. I was so confused when I watched that that whole thing unfold. Wonky timing,
yeah.
And yeah, I'm so confused. Well, let's see. Maybe he can do it again here. That's a lot of Zerglings.
Yeah, he is going for it, trying to surround these Marines up a little bit, but these Roaches really not that strong against this unit composition. Going to lose quite a few of them. Did take out some SCVs, though. He's killed 14 now.
You know, he could make a bunch of Banelings over here. I guess it's not done yet.
Well, you know, I'm so scared about people attacking with Banelings into Siege Tanks and fortified positions. They clump up. The amount that you can kill is just frightening.
Well, okay, I'm actually a little bit confused right now as to what he's doing, because I thought he was going to at least make more Banelings. Since he made all these extra lings, he might as well use them, you know?
Well, you know, maybe he's just going to leave them as Zerglings for now. There's not that many Blue Flame Hellions out at the moment, but I really wish he would get drops. Drops are so powerful against mech when you go Roaches. If they go out of position one time, if they have one missile turret missing, you can actually just drop and deal huge amounts of damage to them.
So the 4th base is on the way here. Some creep tumors being placed here. Notice that there really has been almost no attention paid to creep here in this game.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is unfortunate for sLivko, because that means MVP's pushes are going to be very scary. Ouch!
Yeah, and you really want your creep far out if you're going for this completely ground-based army. You know, Roaches and Lings. You need to be able to move around the map and outmaneuver mech, and that's just going to help you to have a lot of creep.
All right, the Hellions are coming down now, and he's going to intercept it. Now here's the hard part. Okay, very good. sLivko pulls back. When you have that chasing with the Zerglings and the Hellions, there's moments where they can suddenly just roast all those Lings in a line.
Yeah, the further you go with those Lings, the more clumped up they become. So
yeah, exactly.
You have to be so careful. The Hellions just wait for that and then zap them.
He's getting zapped, Artosis.
Yes.
Now we got a bunch of Thors coming out here, and I think we might be seeing a push here. Excuse me. Oh, actually, okay, yeah, we will. All right, he's unsieging.
His 2-2 is lining up with this pretty well. By the time he's really out there and ready to fight, that 2-2 should be done. And he is, of course, rallying out a few Thors to mix in with it.
Note what he's doing with the hell. Oh, my God, he could get these infestors. But the Fungal's pretty good here. He wanted to draw the attention of the Zerg away so that he could take his 4th base over here.
Well, the Blue Flame Hellions that got away actually roasting a lot of drones up top. Roaches are coming around to clean that up a bit. And sLivko actually got the Hive, but forgot the Spire. He just started the Spire after the Hive was done, so that's an issue. sLivko is so good with that, and oh my God, look at this. The Blue Flame Hellions killing a lot more drones.
Really nicely done here. Let's see, what is the unit count on the drones? 85 to 73.
MVP has now killed 21 drones just recently with this harass. Only 3 were killed a few minutes ago, so that's an additional 18 drones he's taken off of sLivko.
All right, Siege Tanks, Marines, Hellions, Thors coming down. This is a very scary army. The Zerg has 16 Roaches, it's 6 Infestors, and 32 Zerglings.
Well, here he kind of goes. Is definitely going to turn around there, though. You know, I feel kind of bad for sLivko. He'd be having Broodlords morphing right now if he had remembered his Spire. But as is, this huge Siege Tank army, which would be so weak to that.
He needs a siege up. Oh, man, this is a very, 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 very bad position here for sLivko. I don't think he can actually save his base. This is a planetary, too, so he can repair that if it gets hit pretty hard.
Yeah, he definitely needs to let that one go. Throwing down a lot of infested Terrans on these Siege Tanks, though. He wants to reduce that count, and reduce it he will, but there's a big line of Siege Tanks behind, which are going to be just fine.
And the problem here is that he can't mine from this base while this is all going on. The splash damage here just melting those infested Terrans.
Well, a lot more Roaches and Burrow on the way. Maybe he can get something done with a sneaky Burrow trick. His Spire is done, but hasn't started the Greater Spire either. So sLivko having a hard time here with figuring out what exactly is he going to do to win the game. I mean, he's slowing MVP down, but that's not winning.
And I think this base is going to be taken out. Now it's okay. Now I love what he's doing here. He just walks away from the infested Terrans. That's what you want to do if you can. If you can just leave the infested Terrans, Just be like, I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah, yeah. And the Thors are going to definitely want to do that. I wish he had saved a fungal. But he did not. And now the Infestatorian's going to go down again. But a Roach flank is coming up from the side. And he is going to pick off at least a few siege tanks here.
Wow, he actually survived that entire Zerg attack here. So looks like he probably will lose this base.
Yeah, not just this base, but the game is starting to fall a little bit out of control. We have a huge rally coming down to join up with that army. And sLivko doesn't really have what he needs to kill this off.
The hatchery under attack here. Roach is being hit so hard. I think we might see GG here. This is a slow, painful death. And there it is, GG.
Yeah, GG indeed. That was a hard one. And you know what? I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that he forgot to make a Spire. If he had Broodlords during that push before he lost that 4th hatchery, before those siege tanks really pushed all the way down at the end, then he would have held that. He would have forced MVP into a bad position.
Well, frustrating moment there for sLivko. It was again another one of those slow, painful deaths.
Yes.
For him in that game. MVP probably feeling confident. He's 1 game away. Tough situation here for sLivko. He's going to have to win the next 2. And MVP is, of course, one of the guys with the most builds, if not the guy with the most builds in the whole game. So this is just a very tough situation for sLivko.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's ever faced anybody close to MVP's level.
Well, I mean, that's the top level. Has he ever faced basically the best player in the world?
I guess
and well,
simpler way to put it. So.
All right, so we will find out about the next map in just a moment. Looks like it's going to be Metropolis.
Metropolis,
now, this one gives you long games, Tasteless.
It certainly does, Artosis. But then again, with MVP, you never actually know what to expect.
Well, he did go double barracks that last game, even though sLivko found it.
All right, well, we're going to take a little break here. Day 9, you got anything to say?
Nope.
No, he doesn't, actually. Excuse me. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to wait for sLivko to come into the game.
He's just got to get in here, and we will get going. This has been just a blast today, man. The amount of TVZs that we've gone through has been insane. And
it really has been.
You know, there's probably going to be quite a few more. MVP's looking poised to take this match, and if he does, we'll have ZVZs and TVZs all day tomorrow.
Well, it's sad for us here that there are no more Protosses left in the tournament.
Yeah, you know, MC put up a good fight, but was not enough.
So, you're sLivko, Artosis. You're in that seat.
Yeah.
You got those headphones on, the soundproofing ones. What do?
All right, it's Metropolis. I make sure I lose no drones early on.
Good
I secure
strategy.
that 3rd base. I start teching a hive and take a 4th because attacking across a map that long is going to be very hard for MVP. And it's a great map for Broodlords. You know, you have those 2 small chokes that you can put spines at, slow tearing down. I think he plays basically a standard normal game. A little bit turtley, maybe a little bit extra turtley, because MVP is going to know, especially on this map, that he wants to kill drones early on, or it's going to go long and it's going to be hard.
All right, now let's say that you're MVP. You're sitting there, you know, with your headset on, you're in the chair, you're up these 2 games. What do?
That one's a little bit harder, actually.
I think that one's the harder one to pick.
Yeah.
You got so many options, really.
He could go for that Supreme late game as well. You know, set himself up pretty well.
Security, get this guy out of here. I don't know if they're going to let Red Eye back here. So, you got a good point. What do you know, MVP has been known to cheese.
Yeah, sure.
More so recently.
He could just go for double 11 racks in the middle, but sLivko drone scouts a lot, so that makes that a little bit harder to pull off. I don't think he's going to do that here. I wouldn't mind seeing him trying it, though, because if sLivko does his drone scout and it goes in the wrong direction, and he scouts MVP second, then the 11-11 may have a good chance of working.
Well, you know, when you're doing a series like this, you have to pick the right builds and the right orders, and that's really why MVP wins the most, is he does always pick the proper set. For instance, you know, when we had MVP in the finals a little while ago, remember when he cheesed out his last 3 opponents in almost every single game in a row?
Yes.
Talk about meta mind game stuff.
Man, if you're being too greedy, MVP will punish you for that. And, well, I mean, he's done that a little bit to sLivko so far, but sLivko knows how to tighten it up.
All right, sLivko's in the game. I think we're going to start this soon. We're just waiting for the confirmation. Hopefully this will go to game number 5. We'll see, though.
Yep. Just waiting for sLivko to say, okay, let's go. You know, he's probably deep in thought right now, not even looking at his monitor, just trying to figure out, what do I do here? What type of play do I use? Do I try to cheese? My life is on the line.
I mean, this could be one of the biggest moments in his entire career. He beats MVP.
Yeah, absolutely tasteless. Well, the countdown has begun.